All right, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today we're gonna compare these two big boys here I have with me. I have the Custom Knife Factory Snafu 2.0 and the Peter Rassenti Custom Snafu 2.0 in a full dress. We're gonna analyze similarities and differences between these two, and let's get started. So, first of all, these two guys have only one thing in common, which is the designer. Peter Rassenti is a Canadian knife maker, designed this beautiful knife. It's one of the best looking knives out there. I really am in love with this design, and that is the only thing these two guys have in common. You can see immediately that the materials used are very, very different. This handle is titanium. It's an integral handle made from a solid billet of titanium, whereas this guy has a mokutai handle. Mokutai is a titanium Damascus. In fact, you can see, the layers on the back, pretty nice looking. So very, very different materials for the handle as well as for the blade. This is a M390 steel for the blade, beautiful super steel. This is a Sanmai Damascus blade. So there's three different materials used for this blade, one being the core and two in the outer jacket. So beautiful, exclusive and precious materials used for the custom version. Something obvious that stands out is the presence of a pivot collar here in Damascus and the absence of the pivot collar here. Also the pivot, it's different. This is a domed one, and compared to this one, you can also see that the Torx bit needed to unscrew this guy is a 15, it's larger. For this one, it's a 10. So there you go, another difference right there. If you flip the knife on the other side, you're gonna notice another obvious one, which is the lock face steel insert in the lock bar right here. They used a clever method. You can see how they managed to mill out just a little chunk of the lock bar, just insert this one, screw right there. It's a clever design. They even include in the pouch an extra one, a spare clip, a spare lock face insert, spare thumb studs, and spare set of screws. So really, really nice detail right there. Custom doesn't have a lock face insert, but honestly doesn't need it. Peter knows how to create the perfect geometry to avoid lock stick between, titanium and steel. So that's another difference right there. Something a little bit less obvious, it's when you look at the side, you will see that the custom has more like a square cut out, whereas the Custom Knife Factory is rounded over here. You flip the knives around and you're gonna notice the same thing, rounded and more like straight lines here. It's a matter of preferences. It's very similar, but a small difference where you can use to spot between the custom and the production. Of course, the weight is going to be another difference because of the different materials used. So you're gonna have as well a different clip. This looks like the same, but if you check the profile, and if you can see it, let's do like this, you can see, there you go. You can see that this clip is longer, this base here, and this is shorter. So I prefer this one because the pocket here could get snatched right there. You see, this ends right at the end of the lock bar cut out, whereas in this one, it's just a little bit further back, so less chance to get your, the end of the pocket snagged when you pull the knife out of your pocket. So just a little difference right there. Another little touch is that in the production, Peter Rassenti places his signature right here, whereas in the custom, it's just right there. So it's the same logo, but in a different position. Something else different, of course, is the thumb stud. This is finished with a beautiful orange peel, whereas this one resembles this pivot. So very, very different. This is also, as you can see, longer, and this is, the custom is wider. So just a small little difference between the two. Something else that it's not as obvious, it's the grind. I don't know if you can appreciate here, but the custom is thinner behind the edge, and this is because Peter is just a master of grinding blades, and also obviously the finish of the blade is different. This is, just acid used to etch the blade, whereas in this one they call it CKF finish, which is a vapor blast for the primary bevel, for the swedge, and for the fuller, and just satin flats here, hand rubbed satin flats. So different finish for the blade as well. Something also that you might notice as a difference is the jimping for the reverse grip. In the production, the jimping gets to the end of the chamfering, whereas in the custom, it stops right a little bit past the middle. There still are 4, same depth, but different width. Also, another different aspect of the blades is how the tang has been cut. You see, Custom Knife Factory is just perpendicular right there to the handle, whereas in the custom is just cut at an angle. So right there, another small difference. The least obvious difference is if you look at the chamfering. Let's look at this spot here. You see there's an intersection between this side and this side right there. In the custom, you can see it's different. You see? It goes a little bit more up, as well as this point over here, right next to the flipper tab. You check how the chamfering goes up to this point, you see, and how it goes up to there. So very, very slight difference, but it's there. Another subtle one, but in favor of the CKF, is the chamfering around the flipper tab. As you can see, there's no chamfering here. It's rounded, yes, but not as much as this one. So just something to keep in mind. It's going to be a little bit sharper, but nothing crazy. Something that is actually in favor of the custom for regarding chamfering is this area here, way less pointy than this one. This is actually sharp. This is rounded. I don't know if you can appreciate that, but it is there. Something also different is the sound they make because of the different material used. So when you whip this guy open, the custom, this is the noise, all right? And this is the Custom Knife Factory noise. It's different. When you close it, that's the clink of the Custom Knife Factory, and this is the clink of the custom. Really different. I honestly prefer the custom 100%. The cracking sound here, clinking here, it's far superior to this also beautiful sound for the Custom Knife Factory. Another difference is the detent. The detent on this one is stronger than on the custom, but this depends on the sample. So stronger detent. This one you can fail to flip it open easily. You can I can fail it like this. But this one you can push button like that. Or this one you can light switch. It's gonna be up to you, okay? This one you can use the fuller if sometimes to open like that because the detent is lighter. With this one, it's harder to fail. You can still fail, of course, but you cannot push button this one. I can't. It doesn't work. I don't know why. You can only light switch it, or you can use the thumb to flick it. Whereas on this one, because the profile of the thumb stud is lower, there's no way you're gonna have the grip necessary to thumb flick. You can't. So you have one more method here, opening method here, and also last difference beside the price. Of course, this is probably 3-4 times this guy, but is the action. This one, the Custom Knife Factory, runs on bearings and steel washer. So when you close it, it is super smooth and silent. When you close this one, it's super smooth, but there's a little bit of noise because of the lack of steel washers, between the blade and the handle. So overall, two amazing blades. All right, there you have it. So this was my comparison between the Custom Knife Factory Snafu 2.0 and the Peter Rassenti Custom Snafu 2.0. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.